I've already sent you this picture, but my wife and I, Lindsay, we were driving down to my favorite restaurant this past weekend. We were going to what I call it's called Pasta Sisters, great Italian place, and it's very approachable in the way of pricing, and it's literally the best Italian food I've ever had. I'm always going to plug it because it's not only my favorite, but it's just every time I go, it's just good. And then also there's like this Helms Bakery right next to it now. So if you ever find yourself in LA, just make some time for it. It'll be worth it, I promise. Anyways, we're driving down there and we're taking the 405.
Okay.
Everybody knows 405 has some history, which I'm not going to say that on this podcast. Anyways, we're driving down and there wasn't a lot of traffic. And then uh, I just see this car. We passed this one car and it was this white Ford Bronco. I don't remember the year, but it was the same year as OJ.
I got
And
like an early 90s model or something like
yeah,
that.
same year. Like I was sitting there, I was like, and also we are passing the Brentwood exit when we saw it. And
Okay.
it was such a fun timing. I literally adjusted my driving because I had passed it and I went, oh, we are on the road where this happened.
Uh,
And at the exit that he got off at, and probably at the exit that he probably murdered them at. And yeah, I had my wife take a picture. I might post it on the video portion if I remember to. But yeah, it was so funny. It was just one of those things where you're like, it's almost like standing in, it is a bit morbid, but standing in like turn four at Daytona and Adele in her car drives by. Like it just kind of felt like that kind of like it's a bit morbid. Both stories are very morbid. So apologies, but yeah, no, it was kind of a funny moment. I just sent it to everybody being like traffic's a little bit light today for some reason.
yeah. That's
But
pretty awesome though. I mean,
yeah,
I did see that picture you sent the other day.
the lasagna was great in the end.
Nice. I'm glad the lasagna was good.
All right, but let's get into it. In a way. All right, welcome back to Tinaway, the number one NASCAR podcast involving two brothers. Um,
That's right.
yeah,
Episode 22,
yeah,
I think.
yeah, and we're done with Darlington this weekend, Labor Day race weekend. Let's start off with the trucks as we always do, and tell us about your eventful weekend.
Oh man. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, I guess. It's kind of how we
Dominant
left.
truck, literally
Yeah.
the dominant truck, but
Had the
some
best truck. Even I think Corey Heim talked about it a little bit in his post-race interview, Victory Lane. He was like, yeah, it seemed like the 34, 38 were going to be fast all day. And it just, the 38 took himself out very early.
yeah, one
I think he
mistake.
just was driving really hard and the right front aired up and went,
Yeah.
he just had a flat tire.
What's okay, so I have kind of two questions.
Okay.
Steel body stuff versus composite body. I'm assuming it's just the way steel bends versus composite, like because they were talking about how these steel bodies, whenever you hit the wall, it's like I don't know much about that. Are you able to answer?
From what I understand, the steel bodies, so some of the chassis for the truck, some of the chassis and the body is still steel. Like the nose is composite along with like the bumpers composite. I think everything else is steel. And then that like when it rubs the wall, it's like deflated to an extent. Like it flattens.
Okay,
With the composite body, like the Cup cars, most of their, if not all of their cars are composite. It's a flexible material. So I mean, if it hits the wall,
it can bounce.
it basically bounced back into shape that it was originally in.
I don't know if this is a good example, but kind of like concrete versus asphalt. Asphalt has a bit of a give to it, whereas
Yeah,
concrete
yeah,
just
yeah. It's more detrimental when concrete cracks and stuff. Asphalt kind of forms to like if there's roots growing underneath something, it becomes a bump, but it doesn't really crack. Like it has
yeah, has a
some
flexibility
flex.
to it.
Yeah. So
Uh,
the for us though, it was we I didn't know this until after the race when I was talking
well,
to Lane.
sorry, real quick, because I was curious about this with you, because Darlington for the truck race was raced in peak heat for the day.
Middle of the day.
What was that like? Because I mean, you we were seeing trucks getting so loose and like they almost said like so. I think some reported like cording on tires, but then they actually weren't. The tires were just like. Did you notice a difference pulling the tires off? Like,
No, so I mean, when someone talks about like losing grip and tire wear going away, and like just being like, I got no grip left. I mean, you're talking about like maybe half inch of rubber
of
off
wubba?
the. Yeah, it's not very noticeable. I mean, like when I pull the tire off, I'm usually not thinking about it, but if I pull the tire off, especially at Darlington, I can see that there's a ton of gravel and rock as I'm,
Yeah.
sending it to the right
But it
to the
was
wall.
nothing about
But
this race was more than normal. It was just
no,
kind of weird
no. I will
conditions.
say I want to know if Goodyear brought it a little bit softer tire compound because the fall off was insane. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we were running 4 seconds difference from qualifying to race trim. I mean, that's a severe fall off. I think I've heard 2 to 3 seconds
Yeah.
before when it came to Darlington, but I don't remember it being four. So that was pretty bananas. But yeah, it's a weekend that I guess the silver lining is we didn't really lose anything in the point standings. We're still second in points
Yeah.
behind Corey. We had a lot of stage points from the first to second stage one, stage two. But it was just all in all a weekend. It just felt like we were right there. And Lane told me after the race that he actually scraped the wall in turn three and four, getting around a lap car.
Yeah.
And that's what actually caused us to cut a right front. We lucked out though big time. This is something that doesn't go talked about enough because we lucked out. Like we wouldn't have finished anywhere near what we did. We finished 17th.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have finished anywhere near that had that caution come out almost simultaneously
Yeah.
with us having a flat tire. Because like for a good 20 seconds, I'm like, man, we're about to go a lap down. And like it was like lane comes by, bumps into the wall, and I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
well,
There it
our
goes.
day's probably done now.
Y'all are gonna have
But
to limp
then it
back.
was, yeah, then it was like, oh, hey, the caution's out, stay out, stay out. Like Josh on the spotter, Josh was like, hey, stay out. Like there's a caution out. We're gonna have to limp around with this flat, but
And
we'll
this
we'll
was stage
down
three,
the.
right?
This was during stage three because all of us were talking about, hey, like all we got to do is just maintain the lead, get it home, and we should win.
Yeah.
Unless the 11, really lagged back and saved tires. But Ed, I don't know. It was gonna be us or the 11, and it ended up being the 11. But I think the thing that sucks is just never really even had a chance to be there at the end. But
Yeah.
everybody knew we were fast. Um, just one of those days. I think, like I said, the silver lining that we all left with was like at least we're still second in points. Like the 38's ninth in points. They
Yeah.
did not. They
No,
did
they
not leave
wrecked.
Darlington. They didn't leave Darlington with like anything. It was like they didn't even race.
It was like within like the first, I want to say 20 laps. Like it was,
It was like lap 10 or 11 that he
yeah.
hit the wall.
Well, at least, well, he actually went out. I was about to say at least he's not Josh Berry. Josh Berry came back in, but for what is, I don't know for what really. Because Josh Berry turned one lap or turned two lap one
Got
rest.
loose. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Anyways, we'll get to that though. But yeah, I will say at least y'all dominated enough of the race to where there was a statement already involved with y'all speed. Like y'all, did y'all win both stages? I can't
We
remember.
get second stage one, one stage two.
Okay. Yeah, so y'all had, for one, like you already mentioned, a good amount of points on the day already. And but yeah, there was luck, but ultimately, like, did y'all had trouble once or twice on pit road as well, just with
Yeah,
a couple
stage
changes?
first pit stop wasn't really all that bad. We had a big adjustment we had to um get done. And then the second stop, Steven, I think he had a hanger. I mean,
Hmm.
things happen, but it's still kind of a bummer of a day.
Yeah.
We know we're better than that on pit road,
Was
and
the hangar the same situation that you had like at Nashville, just the way the setup was, just
no,
made it
so a
difficult?
hanger is usually a lug nut when it's still on the thread and you go to pull the tire and
Yeah.
that lug nut's hanging on. That's a hanger.
Okay. Actually, quick question related to this because we saw a lot of pit problems throughout this whole weekend. Particularly at Darlington, there was no pit problems at Xfinity race. Um, but particularly when it came to the 48 had an abysmal stop. They had to go to a backup gun and then they had a both times I think the air hose disconnected, I think. But my question was because my wife was curious about this too, is like testing the gun, like maybe there's just this natural muscle memory of testing the gun right before you go. Um, but overall, the maintenance of the gun is the question I had, because I can't remember how it works, but are you, as the tire changer, responsible for like the maintenance of the gun or anything like that?
So for my five lug gun, yes. For actually, I should say for my truck series gun, I'm the one that says, hey, it's feeling like it's low on power or it's starting to feel, worn out. I have to go to someone and have them work on it. I don't have to pay for it, but I can go to somebody and have them go through it. Every once in a while, I have some concerns.
And when you say
It just
five gun, that's five lugs, right?
Yeah, like my 5 lug gun, if it's feeling kind of worn out, I can go take it to somebody, have it worked on. But
Yeah.
that is my responsibility. It's something that I kind of have to keep tabs on every couple weeks or X amount of practices and races. I'm like, I've gone say like 7 or 8 practices and like 4 races. It's probably a good idea to at least go get it checked out or like
Yeah.
go to the guy and say, hey, do you think I need to get a new socket soon? Because sockets will wear out. And I mean
Yeah.
that's the first thing that touches the lug nut is that's what's got to, it's got to eat. So,
Yeah.
but when it comes to the Xfinity Series 5 lug gun and the Cup Series 1 lug gun, we do not take care of that. There's a company called Paoli that comes in and brings in they distribute out all of our guns. They also work on them during the weekend at their shop here in Troutman. So with all that being said, there's some
I don't know if I love that.
I at first I didn't like it. One because the gun was so different when it first came into NASCAR. It was a little bit bulkier, it was a little bit longer, and it didn't have as much power. Over the years, they've kind of tweaked it, worked on it,
Yeah.
and it's a lot better now. But when Paoli first came into the sport in 2018, like pretty much everybody, every tire changer was like, "This gun is a POS. Like,
Mm.
what is this? We had the best gun you could ever imagine. Now we have this thing."
Yeah.
So going from basically a Ferrari to
Sorry, I got a spider near me now.
oh
Babe, get the gun. Sorry, no, you can keep talking. I'm just gonna deal with, you know, spiders.
no, you're good. Yeah, when Paley first came in, we
I don't
we
know
all
where it
kind of
went.
compared it to the clutch
Anyways,
guns that we used to have were kind of like equivalent to like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. They were
yeah,
sporty. Like I mean, they were awesome. And then we went to this hybrid version of a clutch gun. It was a clutch hammer gun, and it felt a lot like I kind of compared it to a Corvette. It's fast, it looks good. To
beefy.
the to any person that works at discount, they're like, "Whoa, what's that?" Like it's sweet looking, but it didn't feel as good as what we used to have. It's a lot better now.
Yeah.
The Paleys themselves are pretty solid. They still have a little bit more what would I say that the risk in them they break easier than some of the other guns, but it's overall a lot better now. But yeah, Paoli takes care of our guns
I think why
and
I
they
don't really love it
run
is
the maintenance.
is because of like they control that aspect of it. Um, where it's not as up to your judgment as much. And like I think that lack of control to the person who mainly uses it is what I don't like. Because
Right.
we saw it mess up on the 48. I don't quite know the story of the 48, but if the scenario was the gun wasn't maintained well, the hoses weren't maintained well, I wish we could call it the 48 team's lack of maintenance or lack of quality
So the
control.
hoses do stay with the on the pit box.
Okay.
They get to if there's an issue, they can tell Paoli before a race. They're like,
Yeah.
so there's most likely times before a race that you're testing your gun. I
Is there
do it
like a
every week.
paoli like truck or
So
something?
you wear the SRI, which is like any extra gear, equipment, stuff the teams might need that's not in their haulers. They can go to SRI, get that set equipment. So for us, we can go over there and get pit shoes, Nomex,
Yeah.
whatever, lug nut glue,
Stickers,
lug
maybe.
nuts,
Just a nice sticker
dude,
for your helmet.
SRI stickers. Yeah, they got them all.
Yeah.
But you can go to SRI. So SRI has in the front of their hauler is where Paoli goes, and they have like an anvil and a vise and all this stuff up there that they can go through and work on things. So that's where Paoli's technically at is within the SRI hauler. So before the race, if you're testing your gun and stuff and you realize like something feels off, something feels wrong, you can go over there and have them fix it.
Hmm.
It's not like they give you their stuff and if it breaks, it breaks. Like you can have it worked on, but I mean there are the times that it breaks during a pit stop.
Yeah.
There's nothing's bulletproof and it's not fail safe, but it does happen.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you
all that
personally, would you rather be responsible for the maintenance of it or would you care at this point?
it depends. I think if I got to go back to running a clutch gun, I'd rather the old system, yes, because of it being a clutch gun, but if it's gonna be the way it is, it does make it a little bit easier for Xfinity days. I don't have to carry around an extra bag that has my air gun in it.
Yeah.
Like it used to be you're always kind of toting stuff from Truck Series Day to Xfinity Day to the Even Cup Day.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like they take care of it. We're only allowed to get it an hour before the race. So then we can start running gun oil through it, feeling
Yeah.
it, make sure it feels right. So there's give and take. I don't mind it. I don't hate it. It's just kind of it is what it is, I
Yeah.
guess, at this point.
I think that's an area where I would like to see some play in. Like, I would almost love to see like take Paoli out of it, leave it up to the teams for the maintenance, like I said. But then like they look at it as like a car. Where's the advantage in an air gun? Can it be this? Can it be grippier
Well,
here? Can it be?
that's exactly why Paley came in the sport. It was
I know
one, it was
probably.
money. It was money, and then the teams were able to start finding ways to be faster, and that's what makes racing and competition great, is you're
Yeah.
constantly like what's the edge that we can run to where we are faster than people, but we're not out of control or we're
Yeah.
causing problems and breaking things.
I don't, yeah, I'm definitely not a fan of like that kind of control
Like
within
a third party
NASCAR.
company being
Yeah.
involved.
I mean, there,
Like I said, I don't mind it. It's very few and far in between when stuff breaks, but it does
yeah.
have even it used to happen even when we were in control of our air guns and stuff or jacks.
Well, I think I would rather have the break come from a team pushing the limits rather than just a third party overlooking.
Error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. But yeah, we've talked about this long enough. Let's just go ahead and wrap up the truck series because unfortunately, front row in general was the drama for the day.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't do my scheme shoutouts because there were some good looking trucks out there.
I hope you got the one I have on there. Let's hear
Well,
what you have for your scheme
I was
shout
thinking
out.
before this because this is probably everybody's favorite segment. Let's be honest. This is what they come here for, and so I'm gonna create up a little theme song for it maybe at one point. But scheme shout outs for this week for the truck race, the 18 that looked really good. The
It was
30,
pretty good.
the
I got
33
one that I liked better.
looked pretty good. 33 was it?
Don't think I saw the 33.
Well, no one did, but I saw a picture of it, and it was throwback to an Aaron's paint scheme.
Oh,
Um,
I did, because I was gonna be like, is this the Aaron's Dream Machine?
Yeah. Also, I think Frankie Muniz is hurt. I didn't know that. I think he
He
hurt
hurt
his
his
back.
wrist or something like that at
Oh,
his
his wrist.
house.
Uh, um. Anyways, and then the 81.
Man, what you missed the 19. It's the Gray Ghost.
So it was on there, but I've seen the Gray Ghost throwback before. I liked it. It was on there
The
until I
Gray
saw the
Ghost was my
33.
favorite. The
The
Gray
Gray
Ghost
Ghost
was my
was.
face.
It did look very good, and I do like it, but I feel like I've seen a lot of it to where like when somebody
It's
puts
only
an
been raced like one time.
yeah, but like you see it a lot on social media is kind of what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, okay.
Like
I
I've seen
got
it,
you.
but when somebody throws back to like an Aaron's paint scheme like the 33 did, I
Yeah,
also
that one was
like
pretty sexy.
I like those kind of colors more. The Gray Ghost is always solid. It's always going to be a winner, but actually almost was a winner, finishing second. So but yeah, looking at the top 10,
Bummer.
obviously Heim.
We should have freaking won.
Yeah, Heim takes advantage of y'all's misfortune. Daniel Hemrick also comes in with second place. Other than that though, Trevor Bayne had a pretty good run coming home fifth.
I didn't even know
And
he was racing until I got to the track that day. I was
I
like,
knew
"Oh,
I
Trevor
kind of
Bayne's in
forgot he
it.
was.
Cool."
Um, and then the big surprise of the day, Timmy Hill in the 56, finishing eighth. Great
Heck
job.
yeah.
Started 23rd, finishing eighth. Great day for them. I know they only run a handful of races, but just really cool for that. And Corey Day, my pick to win, coming home ninth after starting 15th. So continuing to improve there. So that was pretty cool.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
the
One of
Xfinity
those
race though,
days.
huh? What'd you say?
I was just gonna say I was just bummed that when we left, man, I had the wife with me and
Yeah,
I
I
was hoping to
remember.
get her to victory lane.
I'm glad I wasn't there.
You would have been bummed too.
Yeah, that would have been the second race where Lane was in first, uh, and he wrecked. So yeah, that was I was at Daytona,
Yeah.
the first race. So the Xfinity race, Zillich, what a surprise. Uh, he almost he
I
was
mean,
challenged at the end.
like those
We'll say
last 10
that.
laps, he almost lost it, but
Yeah. I will say Portland was a fairly solid
I didn't get to really watch much of it, to be honest. I watched the last like 15 or 20 laps.
it was a solid race, I think for I think the end really helped it. But
Uh,
yeah, like it was cool, but Zilli
we do have a comment. All winners, their names started with a C. I didn't even think about that. Corey Heim,
uh
Chase Briscoe, Connor Zilisch.
we had the B's in the beginning of the year, now we have the C's. Is it going to be a theme? Uh but
I want the winner to start with an L in
yeah.
Bristol.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be nice. But yeah, I'm also curious how long has it been since the 88 has not been victory lane?
Yeah, they're like
What's their
we
streak?
need to have a streak of like when was the last time they lost?
I am well, I was thinking looking at worldwide
They won
coming up.
Daytona last week.
Yeah, I mean, what
What
was
was the
before?
last team? What was the last race that they won or lost, I should say? Because the week before last week was a break, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there's a break before
It's
Daytona.
hard to recall Xfinity and Truck Series
I'm
races
gonna
like the
look it up.
previous ones because they were so they're like their schedule's so weird towards the especially towards the end of the season.
Basically, end of summer, it gets very choppy.
Yeah. So I'll particularly just go right into shout outs real quick. For number one was the 19. They unfortunately had some problems towards the end. I thought the 14 looked pretty good. I only saw that because they messed up, and then I thought the 41. I will say the Xfinity Series games were just they're fine this week. Nothing really stood out.
Man.
Um,
So to answer your question, holy crap.
they're on a run. I know his average finish is insane.
They've lost one race. One, two. Hold on, I gotta give you the stats on
It's
this.
a
This is
historic
insane.
season, man. I think it's
Since Pocono, he has only lost three races.
how many races total is that
All right,
from
so in the
Pocono?
last since Pocono, it's one, two, three.
Yeah. Now, when
He's
we
won seven of basically the last 10 races.
that's crazy.
That is just dominance, man.
Yeah. No, he's it's some are arguing that it's the best rookie Xfinity season ever. Okay. You see. Um yeah, some are arguing that he's on that.
It got to be summertime, and then he got just as hot as summer. Like
You
that
break your
team's been on
back
a
and you come back and
break your
just dominate.
back. I mean, how many more wins would he have if he won that for
I'm
like two
just
or three
scared what's gonna happen if he
races?
breaks another bone.
Dude, it's just like he's powering up. He's turning into Thanos.
Yeah.
He's just like
Yeah, seriously. The kid's he's I what's
phenomenal,
fun
man.
is like I also like his demeanor about his issues and wins. Like he still shows some immaturity here and there. I think when it comes to like what they particularly point out, like when he's just leading by 15 seconds on stage one, they're like, "Hey, you can clearly slow it down if you want to." And I think he has a hard time doing that or pushing it really hard when there's still like 10 to go and he's in second. I feel like
Ah,
I've heard that's when they're like, "All right, man, like you're gonna be better and you're probably gonna get him." But also, it is a bit discouraging whenever you hear I think they were talking to Austin Hill's crew chief during the Portland race towards the end. And they're like, yeah, I don't think we have anything for the 88. And like they were in second. And it's like, okay, well just don't tell me you're racing for second. But like, yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't
at
know.
the same time,
It's
I
realism.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
being a realist. It's not like you're like, oh yeah, I think we got a shot. Like, no, he's literally putting like a half a second on the field
I
every lap.
agree, but like I also like Michael McDowell's mindset where it's like if we just talk like that, we're creating that
That
kind of
narrative.
yeah. And so I mean McDowell said that and then almost like had a good chance to back it up at Chicago. Unfortunately, equipment failure, but like yeah. So that's where I appreciate McDowell that if we just keep that mindset of like we can beat them, we just need to better ourselves. Like they're making us chase, but yeah, I don't know how much we can talk about the Xfinity race because I mean it wasn't terribly exciting till the end, but I actually enjoyed watching it. There was some a couple exciting finish or a couple I can't talk right now. It's some exciting restarts towards the end. Particularly, I mean, Williams takes advantage to finish second. Nick Sanchez surprisingly gets third. I and Chan or Christian Eckes gets fourth. So just those three right there, I was kind of surprised to see them. Austin Hill kind of lost it on the restart at one point. But shout out to, is it Jordan Anderson Racing?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. Jeb Burton, Austin Green, Blaine Perkins, seventh, eighth, and ninth.
Nice. I didn't know that.
Really cool for them.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
Shout out to them for finish.
I know
Austin
that there
Green
was
needs to get a ride for next year because this man is showing up at road courses. I think
yeah,
he's
I was gonna
only
say
top
too, I
10.
saw that I think the playoff cutoff line was between Harrison and Jeb
Hmm.
Cousins. One was in, one was out. So I mean if Harrison got wrecked or something like that, Jeb was gonna get in.
Yeah, and
But
then Thanksgiving was just going to be weird.
yeah.
Um, yeah, the Xfinity race was good. This, surprising winner. Hashtag sarcasm. Actually, oh, whoa, I'm just now noticing this. Only one Toyota, and that was Williams Sawalich in the top 10, in second.
I
Everything
think
else was Chevy.
everybody else
Crazy.
was just wrecking.
Yeah. Well, at least Chevy had a good race in Xfinity. Good
Yeah, they did not.
Lord.
They didn't have much last night.
No, I mean,
I think AJ Allmendinger finished
fifth.
sixth. Was he
Fifth.
fifth?
Yeah. Um, yeah, so getting into the cup race, Briscoe dominates. I think he led 309
Three,
laps.
3.9, 3.10, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
I think the most laps ever led and won. I think Larson was one of the highest. No, sorry. It was kind of the opposite. Most laps led um without winning was like Larson was at like 259. I think it was like last year or one of the years where he didn't win. It was like 259 and finished like fourth. Um, so yeah, I would have felt bad for Briscoe if he would have led all those laps only for like a late race caution to ruin
It
it.
was going to be very similar, in my opinion, to Charlotte. If the 45 snuck in there and
Yeah,
won, how Ross showed up and led the last 7 laps and won.
yeah. Well, speaking of Ross, scheme shoutouts. Uh, Ross
Ross
had a great car.
had a pretty
Really,
cool
really,
car.
really cool car. At first, I didn't like the actual dark horse being on there.
Hmm.
Because I really, and then as I kept seeing it, I was like, you know what, it's kind of growing on me. I still might prefer it without, but I didn't hate it. The one car I thought was sneaky cool, 23 of Bubba, really
Okay.
cool.
Oh yeah, the
And
stealth car, stealth
yeah,
bomber.
it
Yeah.
was one of those like it didn't stand out, but like we both love the B2 bomber, really
Yeah.
cool. It's crazy to me that the thing was developed in the 80s and it's still going. Uh, but yeah, and also, have you seen the cockpit of that thing?
I think I saw a video on it
Yeah.
few weeks ago
Do that
on
and then imagine
TikTok or
spending
something.
36 hours on that. And
It has like a full-on bathroom and bed, like bunk beds and
well, I
stuff, if I'm
think they're
not
not allowed to
mistaken.
show everything due to
I
security
think they
reasons.
talked about
But
it.
I think somebody did like an animation of what it's most likely like. But yeah, I was like, that's a hard. Like I've done 44 hours in a car, but I do think at least you get different visuals in a car. You know, you can see
That
the
you're just looking at the
clouds.
atmosphere.
Yeah, I'm sure it's cool for 5 minutes if you're new. Anyways, getting
It
off
has a
topic.
full-on bathroom and beds, if I'm not mistaken. They can take
Yeah.
turns resting or whatever.
Bring your
That's
Xbox up there.
crazy.
Imagine playing your Xbox on your way to bomb an Iranian nuclear facility,
Playing
whatever it
playing
was.
the realistic version and then also playing it on a video game.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, the 23 car was really cool, and then I also put the 24 in there. Brought it back from Chicago, which it never even saw the.
I don't get the hype behind the 24. Like
I
it looks
get
like a
not
custom
liking it.
car made out of like NASCAR Thunder or something. Like
I
it
think
looks like the generic scheme that they give you a base model, and maybe that's why it catches your eye. It's not my
well
thing.
that and also catches my eye of one of Gordon's, default schemes when he, particularly the season where he wrecked Boyer at Phoenix. I don't know what year that would have been, but it was kind of like that
Oh,
kind of similar
2012, how it's
stripe.
kind of like circled on the
Yeah,
door. It's like an oval.
I think for a lot of Gordon fans, it kind of throws back to that. Also, I've particularly loved, I found myself really looking at this whenever they showed him, is the Neon 24, the
Yeah,
classic like Hendrick.
the neon yellow.
Yeah, I particularly, it could be on any car, and I think I would love it.
Yeah,
Um,
I do like the fluorescent yellow
and I was also
number.
thinking, I was like, I don't know if it's just the 24 car and the history that it has, but like something about the 24 car, any scheme really looks good on it. And I was like, is there a science, like a psychology behind the way the
Well, you
24,
know what bums me out when we're talking about the number colors? Is the 48 runs a white number now.
yeah, it's probably an ally thing.
It's got to be, but it's kind of a bummer. Like
Well,
when
the
I look
5
at
is
it,
also white.
the 5 is white, but see the only thing about the 5 that's different, it's blue and white. And for a little while, I think Jimmy ran a yellow 48 when
Yeah.
Jimmy was still around when it was Ally.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's kind of the same thing like you're talking about. It pops a little bit more.
Well, I feel like it's also a bit of a signature for Hendrick too.
Yeah.
Um, but again,
The white 5 I can kind of get behind. The white 48 just does not look normal to
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
It might
Um,
also be something too, because wasn't the 5 no, for a while the 5 was yellow too when Mark Martin drove.
I think
I
they've
was
all
gonna
had their
say,
phases.
well, wasn't Terry Labonte's red when he was in it in the Kellogg's car? Wasn't it a red 5?
Get Tyler Mon on here. He'll know. Um,
Tyler.
anyways, yeah, I'm not sure, but I kind of wish they would just solidify we're always going to run this and I'd be down. Or red roof number. I don't know why. That's just
The
cool.
Jeff Gordon rainbow car with the red roof number is like top 5
It's so
scheme for me.
simple, but it
It
like
looks
adds
so
so
cool.
much. Yeah. Um, but let's get into the actual race. As we mentioned before, the 21 just immediately out the gate
Full
hits the bumps.
disclosure, did not get to watch until basically all of stage three. So
Yeah,
anything that happened before that, I didn't know what happened to the 21. I saw the replay. The 45 season was about to go up in flames right then and there off turn two.
I tell you what, man, this was one of my notes. Like the 45 is a lucky team. Like you see that, and I feel like if
Are they
any,
though? They haven't won a race.
they haven't won a race, but they keep getting it. This is not just this year. I think there's several points in the 45's career that like especially like last year. I think back to Homestead. It wasn't necessarily like straight up luck, but like in a must-win situation, Kyle Larson does a pretty big like he benefits from bad luck a lot. And then he'll have races like this where he gets damaged in the beginning. I feel like I can't exactly prove it. I'm not going to go back and do it, but it just feels like this. And I feel like I've heard other people start to talk about it in the way of like, I feel like this team gets away with it a little too much. Because like, yeah, you
I mean,
see that rig.
sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good, right?
Yeah.
That's the
I mean,
ongoing
absolutely.
saying.
But also like, yeah, he gets damage from this wreck from the 21 spinning, and he still comes home second, almost wins it. Whereas like the 48 got a little bit of damage from
And
that
just
and
was never
just
the same.
never the same. The 20 at one point got not even
I
noticeable
guess I
damage.
guess I can get behind that because last week the 45 literally hit the fence in
You're like,
Daytona.
oh, this is his
I was
season.
like, man, the 45 season's done because I saw like a clip of it somewhere. I'm like,
Yeah.
the
That's
45's got to be out, and then they were able to stay in the race.
and
So
then by the end of the first stage, they were back into it because the 48 went out. And
yeah,
like the one car they were racing. So like there's a case for the past 2 weeks. But as for his whole career, I don't know. Someone may need to go dig it up. But yeah. Anyways, good for them. It was yeah, I was sitting there, I was like, oh, drama. Never mind.
yeah.
Okay. I feel bad for
I
Josh Berry
can't
though.
say I wanted to see Chase not win, but at the same time, I was hoping the 45 would get to him,
Yeah,
and it was going to be kind of like a photo finish. So that
yeah.
last two laps, I was like, is the 45 going to pull this out? Because if he does, I'm partially sad for Chase. He's my buddy. I talk to him anytime I see him at the track,
He's a hard
and
he's a
I've worked with him. I'm like, I can't not like him. He's
yeah.
one of my dudes.
He's a hard guy not to like in general. Like
But I'm
it's
the same thing. I've worked with Tyler. I've worked with both of them, and I
oh
talk to
yeah.
him like anytime we see each other. I'm a little bit closer to Chase than Tyler, but
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
one of those things.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm sure you have that. And like again, there was nobody in the top five. Like I don't really have any driver I truly hate now. It's really just the circumstances that like I actually never hated a driver. Maybe when I was a kid, yes, but like it's really just circumstance. Like I was like when you watch a car dominate, that's not your car, that's not your driver. You're just kind of like I want to caution right now. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. The 45 gets away with it again. It feels that's just how it feels. But I wasn't upset about it either. But it was like, yeah, like I said, drama.
How
Um,
about Legacy Motor Club though? Like what,
I
third
was
and
gonna get
fourth
to that.
place?
Yeah, no, yeah, third and fourth place, and honestly, like drove from John Hunter Nemechek drove from 30th with some good strategy. They got good position and then they held it.
Nice.
Eric Jones coming from 19th again, just that was just the grind of a day for Legacy Motor Club and a statement amongst them, you know.
Those guys, I'm actually really hyped to see like Legacy, this place that they're at now that I know they haven't won, but they've gotten to the point where they're consistently pretty competitive.
I think
And that's
I'm at the
where
point now
I
with
feel
them.
like
Oh, go on.
for a while I was like, I don't know if Legacy's gonna ever, take off. And here we are. Like I think this is what their third year in
Yeah.
business,
When
and
I
it's really starting
first
to show.
it really seemed like they were trying to get their footing down, and there was a lot of moving around. I mean, I mean, I think Eric Estap, the YouTuber, tried to make a whole chart out of their management switch ups and everything. I think though what's helped is them finding that rhythm, finding that groove. Jimmy coming back, being more of a presence. I think they've had some good hires and are finally starting to click. There's also an argument to be made like teams progressively get better throughout the season, especially with consistency. So I'm curious. I'm now looking to see them at the beginning of next year where they're at. Um,
Yeah.
well, is this just momentum from good finishes? Particularly the 42 has had some solid finishes, or is this genuinely the team starting to click? They're because they're trying to make their own notebook to not rely on Toyota? Is this starting to pay off? Are we seeing this long run
Well,
strategy
so
pay off?
here's something that I didn't know about Legacy until I think sometime last year when they came into the sport. A lot of these teams, manufacturer base, will have they'll join with another team. Like they'll have an alliance with, say, it could have been Gibbs,
Yeah,
maybe 2311, a big Toyota team. Most of them funneling through Gibbs to some degree. But I didn't know this until last year that Legacy decided they wanted to go in and create everything from in-house. It was
yeah,
like they haven't taken notes from Gibbs, so everything that they're discovering and all their speed is stuff from Legacy themselves. This
yeah,
isn't notes based on like the Briscoe setup or 20 setup. Like it's strictly just Legacy's. Like everything that they're doing is all within themselves,
yeah,
which I think is really cool. And I think that's why you saw a year to a year and a half of struggling where they were like 25th and worse.
yeah,
That's where now the payoff is they found some speed and they've done some stuff right. They had to make some personnel changes and things happen.
yeah.
I was talking to a friend of mine, Hunter. He was talking to Jimmy Johnson. He's like, "Hey man, like
Jimmy
what's
J.
been what's been the hardest thing about, being a team owner?" He's like, there's so many people in the sport that I was successful with at another team, as in Hendrick Motorsports, but brought them to Legacy, and then it didn't work out, and he has to let them go.
Yeah,
So he talked about that's
firing
been the
friends.
hardest part of having to let friends go and knowing that it's nothing personal. It's just it didn't work
Yeah,
in in this situation or with this atmosphere of this team. And maybe it's culture, maybe it's just the changing of this next gen car. You just never know, but he said that was the hardest thing. And that's something that I didn't really think about, that once you become an owner and you're making those kind of calls, you're having to let people go that you brought in and you're
yeah.
having to basically release them.
That's definitely
So,
a tough thing business wise. I feel like I want to know if that's something that RCR struggles with. They've made their changes, no doubt, but and I do appreciate trying to be loyal to your loyals, to the people that are loyal to you. But in a race team, you got to make kind of some swift changes here and there, especially if the rhythm is lost or not even there. So I wonder if RCR is dealing with that bit of a sluggishness due to maybe a little bit too loyal to people who could make a difference.
mm,
Because I mean, we see colleague, they made some change bringing in notable consultant, Ty Norris, and hopefully they're going to we'll see how this pays off next year, particularly. I feel like they've had too big of a change. I mean, they had a good race this time
yeah, the
around.
16 was awesome.
Yeah. Anyways, let's,
We do have
oh,
a
you got a
statement
question?
slash question. More of
Sure.
a statement.
I'll answer it.
Nicole is saying she can't wait to watch for St. Louis. It's almost time for Vegas. I believe she works at Vegas.
Ah,
Um, and they took out our truck race for next year. So, is there no truck race in Vegas next year? I don't know if I realized that.
oh,
Guess we'll have to look.
that's
But if
interesting.
so, that kind of sucks because I do enjoy Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas is cool.
I guess I'll have to look that up later. I don't have the schedule saved right here immediately.
Hmm.
Cup Series schedule. No, I do have it. So it goes. Is this the Cup Series or is this the Truck Series? I can't remember.
Well, I do want to, while you look that up, I want to give a shout out to SVG, even though this move did not work out as as they wanted to. They didn't have the best race. But at the end of stage one, he was fighting for the lucky dog position, and it's a move worth looking up. He threw it three wide around, I don't know who, I want to say the 38 car wasn't involved, but yeah, he threw it through wide and made it work, and it was a really cool move because he had gotten held up before, and I was like, oh, that did it for him. But yeah, honestly, really cool move. Really, for stage one, a sketchy move, I will say. It wasn't anything sort of
Like early in the race, just
I mean,
pinning it and going for it.
early in the race, but for him being playoff driver, good reason. But yeah, like I said, his race didn't pan out the way he wanted to. Their long run strategy. Oh, that was actually something really funny with SVG. They ran it like double long. Like they tried to skip a whole stop, I think. And but they were
I
also
did see that in stage three where they were going like 65 laps.
they
I'm
were
like,
hoping for a
holy
caution,
crap.
and then they
Yeah,
finally submitted, and we're like, okay, we're gonna pit, and then like a handful of laps after they pit, a caution comes out,
right.
and you could just tell they just showed SVG's car. You could just feel that they're all like, really. Like, but yeah, it was really funny also, SVG. There's a bit of audio. Like he was, they just seemingly didn't come out with a good car, and SVG was trying to communicate to him, and he was frustrated. And I think he said it was driving like crap, but said the S word, and then he immediately goes, sorry for the language.
So I do have the truck schedule now for next season. We go
Yeah,
Daytona, Atlanta, St. Petersburg, and I believe St. Petersburg was our Vegas race last year. It was like the
that's
third to fourth
right.
race.
Yeah, y'all are oddly going to St. Petersburg.
Only thing that's kind of is a bummer about this is St. Petersburg
Is
is
in
the
Florida.
same weekend we're in Coda. So if I'm not mistaken, unless St. Petersburg it is a Saturday. So I'm guessing Coda, Xfinity, and trucks are doing non-competitive stops in St. Petersburg, which I'm kind of bummed about. I wanted to go
Wait,
see St. Petersburg.
Xfinity is also in Petersburg?
So it's Coda and Coda is the same day as St.
Yeah.
Petersburg for Xfinity. Trucks are in St. Petersburg on Saturday, February 28th next year. So I'm guessing we're doing an Xfinity race at Coda
Oh,
and
okay.
then trucks are in
So
St.
trucks
Petersburg
are
on their
only in
own.
St.
But
Petersburg.
I think it's because they're doing truck and IndyCar in St.
Yeah,
Petersburg same weekend.
I might have swapped the trucks for Xfinity. Um, honestly.
But like I said, I'm kind of bummed. I want to see St. Petersburg because I know IndyCar goes to it and stuff. And
Yeah.
when I saw that on the calendar, I was like, oh, that would be cool to go see. And then it was a couple days later, someone said, oh yeah, it's non-competitive stops because it's the same day as Xfinity
Yeah.
in Coda.
Kind of like
So,
this weekend. Um,
yep.
well, yeah, to finish up the cup race, I mean, just the discussion of it. Yeah, dominant race by Briscoe, as we said before. There was a lot of good racing farther back, particularly, where I'm an overall Hendrick fan. They did not bring it at all. Best finishing car was Chase Elliott, 17th. The five hung around the top 10 most of the day, but like after every
He fell
restart,
off. I don't know what happened with him.
well, it was every restart he would gain maybe one position. I think his best might have been like two positions, but then just long run speed oddly wasn't there. It was an odd day for a fall. I mean, Tyler Mon mentioned that the fall race for the five team is usually their best one of the Darlingtons. And so just an odd day in the way that like they never really got better. They never
Yeah.
got to a point where they were passing or could pass. They were always falling. At times it would just be one or two positions throughout a run, but then I think I heard that the last run, like for the end, like he had t took on damage and just, you get swallowed up quickly at Darlington if you lose that momentum. So he fell all the way back to 19th by the end. Yeah, the 24 never really a big factor. I think maybe got up to 10th at one point, but
I don't think
uh,
I really saw anything about the 24 last night. It was a very uncharacteristic day
yeah,
for the entire Hendrick team, especially the 5, 9, 24, the guys that are usually the heavy hitters in the
yeah,
top 10, top five. I mean, the
48
9
just an
especially
abysmal
being
day.
that they were like the 9 was been Mr. Consistent all year. So
Yeah. I mean, still technically consistent based off their finishing position, but and what they've set with that just being top 20 all year. But yeah, even the 48 just oh man, if I was a 48 fan, this was a frustrating weekend because didn't
absolutely.
qualify well, didn't practice well from what I understand, didn't couldn't adjust in the race the way they wanted to. Yeah, just couldn't catch a break. They had an abysmal stop as we talked. I think it was 30 seconds, 30 plus
Ooh,
seconds. So like it was, and that was during, I think they were trying to do a strategy move.
oof.
And so it really just nails, like there was already a nail in the coffin, and then somebody just took a nail gun to the coffin and just sealed it
Lit
up.
it up.
Yeah. And yeah, and
Yeah.
then buried Alex Bowman alive. Uh
So I do want to go a little bit off topic here, go a little bit improv
well,
with
let me just read off the top 10 because yeah, then we'll be done really. But yeah, so we mentioned
I got something I want to bring up. I want to see what some thoughts are.
okay, well
So whenever you're ready.
let me throw this out and then we'll be done with the cup race. But yeah, as we mentioned, Legacy Motor Club, great on them. Allmendinger, great fifth place finish. I want to shout out Bubba, but at this point, I think we're just underrating him. Denny Hamlin fought back to come finish seventh. Kyle Busch finishes eighth, and Carson Hocevar gets ninth. So like honestly, it was kind of an odd top 15 if you were to really look. I think Noah Gregson finished 14th. Like it was just weird.
13th was Zane Smith from Front
Yeah.
Row.
I mean, it was just like a weird top
I liked it.
15.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, it's refreshing at this time. Yeah, a lot of playoff struggles though. I will say that. A lot of playoff struggles. So, all right. What do you have?
So maybe as we're kind of starting to wrap things up today for the podcast, does anything stand out to you for next year for the schedule that, is way different? Have you had time to even like look at it very much?
I mean, the biggest thing that stuck out to me that I didn't even see, I didn't even know it was coming was the St. Petersburg race. Um, I love Homestead being back.
I do
Uh,
too.
I wish they would go to Homestead twice,
Okay.
personally. I also,
Yeah.
I am looking forward to Chicagoland. Um, I always hated that track got taken away because I felt like it was a quietly pretty good track and a fun track. And especially with the way this new car races, I feel like we're going to get a third Kansas Homestead kind of maybe even Darlington style race of like, you know, or even Charlotte, just another mile and a half track that just puts on a great show. And so I'm glad we brought that back. I almost kind of wished Kentucky would be considered again.
I would love to see Kentucky get at least one race a year. I
Yeah,
would
I
really
think we've
like
mentioned.
that.
Um,
Um,
I can't
but no,
remember
the biggest thing
the.
that stands out
Yeah.
to me, because I know it came out last week, we didn't really ever get to talk much about it, is Watkins Glen
Oh
is
yeah, in May. I don't
May like
know.
8th and May 9th, very early in the year. There was someone that lives up there that said like, "Hey, I hope you guys bring snow shovels because sometimes it snows in May." So we
Nice.
might be going to Watkins Glen and it might be pretty cold.
That'd be kind of
The
cool.
other thing that stands out to me was obviously the Dover All-Star race. Not really a huge fan of that idea.
Yeah.
I don't know what like where they moved it from to place it there.
Yeah. Well,
I'm kind of like,
here's what I'll say about the Dover race is I hope they're aggressive with a tire or a setup is what I hope they're using it for one.
I hope it becomes a
Uh,
test ground. Like use
that's kind
it
of yeah,
to
what I'm
see
saying.
like what things do, but at
Yeah.
the same time, I hate that Dover now is not really a normal race because a lot of the drivers love Dover. They talk about Dover's their favorite track to go to, and I'm bummed for the drivers to that aspect, but at the same time, I realize Dover's just not been
The
what it used
fans
to
aren't
be. The
there.
fans do not show up like they once did.
I feel like that's what happened to
Um,
Chicagoland though, right? It was just like,
some of it was that, but like I said. I can kind of take it or leave it with Dover being the All-Star race. I'm not really sure where I would have put the All-Star race
well, I so
if it
here's what
was
I'll
staying at
say.
Wilkesboro.
I wish it would say to Wilkesboro. I've said that before. Like, I think that's part of the magic of Wilkesboro. Um, I would have liked for them to have taken that magic to Rockingham, done the same thing. But
I
what
think that would have been the play, put
I
Rockingham as the All-Star race.
as I do wish they would have kept it as a night race because that's just the all-star vibe. I'm not gonna like complain too hard about that because sure, let's switch it up a bit. Let's have another weird year of an all-star race, like when we look back at Bristol when they first adjusted the numbers and put the underglow on it. Yeah, let's have another weird fever dream. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's jump
So
into
here's
it.
another thing I didn't realize. North Wilkesboro is not on the Cup schedule.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's only on Xfinity and trucks. So that's, or is it only trucks?
That's
July 18th, North Wilkesboro, but I cannot tell if this is the truck series
that's almost
schedule.
disrespectful.
This is the truck schedule. No, so July 18th, where are we at in the Cup Series, July 18th? Cup Series is off.
Wow.
Or is
I
this
will
is
say,
the Chicago or this is Xfinity.
yeah, I don't
So
even know how to look at the
it's an
schedule.
standalone race. I'm guessing where's the Cup schedule?
Yeah.
I might have misspoke. North Wilkesboro is on the Cup schedule. I'm sorry.
Wow.
It's truck and Cup. Xfinity is not going to North Wilkesboro.
Where are they going? Are they just off?
They're just off that weekend.
I will say that is one thing I did notice, and I kind of agree with the theory here of more off weekends. So I think NASCAR, I get what they're doing, why they have to do the system that they do, but I do wish internals were taken care of a bit more in the way of like time because it's a grueling schedule for anybody, and like it's more than just. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's more than what an NFL team would do or a baseball team because you know. There's
Baseball is the only sport that you could compete with, like how grueling the schedule is.
um yeah, just it's really the length of time and the amount of driving you have to do. It's a grueling schedule nonetheless, but yeah, I just wish like particularly on notable weekends like an Easter weekend, as I do enjoy a race on an Easter weekend, don't get me wrong, but like I also have to think about there's at minimum 40 families that are a bit disrupted during a traditional weekend.
There's way more than 40
I know, I'm
families.
just saying that when you look
It's
at the
like
drivers,
400 families.
yeah, so there's definitely a ripple there that is affected and stuff like that. I wish NASCAR would recognize. I don't say they completely ignore because they have to balance their product versus the internals, but I do agree. I think Chase Elliott said less is more, honestly, right now for NASCAR because you go less, that's less expense. Um, but I'm sure the TV stuff
You have a
is
contract to be at X amount of races
yeah.
and
But yeah, like
yeah.
I do agree with that mindset. As a fan that doesn't want to see less racing, if anything, I would want to see more racing. But I do agree with less is more in the way that it would be cheaper. It would tighten some competition up, for good or bad, I don't know. But I just think it might help create a bit more hype. I don't know. I think the less is more is better in the way of money, but
Oh man, I didn't even realize this. San Diego and Sonoma are back-to-back weekends.
that makes sense in the way of
That blows flight wise.
oh yeah.
Having to fly out there, be out there for 2 days for San Diego, and then the following weekend,
I mean,
Sonoma, Xfinity.
let's make plans right now if you want to. Don't
I guess
fly
we're coming.
back.
I guess we're gonna hang out there for the whole week.
Yeah, you do Sonoma. Actually,
I
well,
might see if I can get Sam and the kids on a flight or something out there. We can just hang out in California for the week.
yeah, I was going to talk to you now about that off record.
Yeah, I guess we're
Uh,
gonna talk about it off camera.
yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. Anyways, let's wrap this all up. One thing I did, we don't have to talk about it too long. There was one question I had, which was we saw a little bit of drama after the race. Apparently, Bell wasn't happy with Carson Hocevar with something on pit road. I think he blocked him in at one point or something. Anyways, a little bit of tension. And so we're in the playoffs now, and I kind of want to know your perspective on how playoff and non-playoff drivers should race each other. Should there be leniency? Should there be this respect of like, well, he's in the playoffs, I shouldn't be racing him this hard?
I guess it depends on the situation. I would say that there's got to be some leniency.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to be the one that, really messes up someone's championship hopes or even their day as we're just getting started.
Yeah.
But I also think that, everybody's racing for a reason. Like you're there to try to win or, you know, make your sponsors proud. So you can't just roll over and die because so and so's in the playoffs.
I agree because I'm someone when it comes to like blanket competition, just if you're in the race, you're racing. Like you're not there's not this level of like, well, he's in the playoffs and all this stuff. I get that it honestly feels like it's coming from like money reasons and like teams. To me, there's kind of like a thing of like big teams putting the foot on small teams. Like if Spire is
Yeah.
having a good day, but obviously Gibbs is in the playoffs, like what do you do? Obviously, that's not terribly comparable, but it's like if Spire's having a good day and a Hendrick driver, is there. I don't love that kind of racing as much because if they're on the track, let them go, let them race. Like let's not try and put our hands in the actual race too much. Um, yes, let the consequence of a non-playoff driver's actions be they ruin a playoff driver's day. That's just a part of the product we have here, part of the drama we have here. So I don't love it when they start complaining about that. I didn't see a quote from Christopher Bell. It was kind of just a headline I read and wanted to kind of briefly talk about. But yeah, I'm someone that I don't really care. I mean, I'm going to say this now, but then, Elliott or Larson or a Hendrick driver is going to get affected by a non-playoff driver, and I'm going to be mad. But like, yeah, but to me, like when I was thinking about this weekend and how I felt watching the race, I was frustrated. But like, I think back to Bristol when Kyle Larson dominated, I was happy. I was like so pumped up, and I was like, that's the feelings we chase as fans, is those good races for our team or driver. And again, like that's the blanket feeling, and I want the uh, blanket expectation of racing like that in the way of. doesn't matter. Just
Yeah.
just raise. Because yeah, I mean, Carson Hocevar has his own raise. Depending on where they finish, it's going to help his team. He's not in the playoffs, but he does have something to race for. So,
No doubt.
yeah. All right, let's do our predictions real quick for worldwide. Trucks are off this weekend, but the Xfinity
Trucks are off.
and,
Xfinity.
and Cup.
It's hard to bet against the 88 on this heater they're
Well,
on.
I was thinking of that, and I'm like, well, at least this is maybe a race where we'll see somebody else get up there. Um,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
I
trying to think who I would possibly pick.
I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna pick Zilich. I'm just gonna do it. They're gonna somehow win again.
I'm gonna go Gray.
Gray?
Taylor Gray.
Oh, Taylor Gray. Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say
So you're
Tyler
going
Gray.
to the 54,
I'm
Taylor
going with the
Gray. I'm
54.
gonna go with this. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go with Zilich, and then my dark horse is us. We're gonna somehow
yeah.
the
I
51's
was
gonna pull out something amazing.
always rooting for y'all, but for Cup, it's hard to go against Penske right now at these kind of tracks.
So Penske's been really good here. Um, I'm gonna say Larson. I think Larson's due
Oh,
for a win.
he's due for a win, but Hendrick is not good at worldwide, so I am not putting it on. I'm just hoping for a good day there.
Okay.
Um, anyways,
I'm
I'm
going
gonna
Larson Cup
you're going
Series.
Larson. Tempted to go Logano.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go Logano. I think A
Okay.
Ford will win, but I'm gonna go with Logano.
Cool.
So, but yeah, that does it for this week. Thanks for tuning in. We have a Pop and Top episode this coming week, centered around
Probably tomorrow night we'll record it.
yeah, we'll record tomorrow night, but these come out Wednesday and Thursday. So look forward to that. Do we know the guest for Pop and Top, or have you confirmed it?
It should be Jarius again. We're gonna do
Yeah.
the mental health episode.
Yeah. Jerry is a changer on the 77, but we brought
Carrier.
him carrier. We brought him on back a couple months
About
ago.
6 weeks ago, something like
Yeah,
that. Two
but
months
talking
ago
about
we did
his Le Mans experience with Garage 56. But yeah, we're gonna get into some mental health stuff. Pretty timely
the highs
for
and lows of sports and being an athlete.
yeah. So look forward to that. Right after this comes out on Wednesday, that should come out on Thursday. All goes
Absolutely.
well. So
Heck yeah, good episode, man.
yeah, man.
Till next time.
We'll see how worldwide goes. Good
Yeah,
luck.
absolutely. Thank you, man.
See ya.